All right. Another different kind of video, but I really like these kind of videos most of the times. I don't, well, I didn't watch it, but I didn't watch it yet. But uh, by the way, are you a psychopath? That's maybe the next one because that one has 16 million, bro. All right, but oh, this already has 2.4 million views in 2 months. 2 months. Damn. The psycho the psycholo psychology of a child who grew up too fast. Let's go. Let's see how about what it is.
Quietly. No one notices.
Wait.
It starts quietly. No one notices at first. You're
Mm-hmm.
7 years old, staring into the eyes of a parent who is falling apart. Maybe it's addiction. Years old, staring into the eyes of a parent who is falling apart.
Of one parent.
Maybe it's addiction. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's just the hollow silence of someone too broken to show up. And without words, something ancient clicks in your small mind. If I don't hold everything together, no one will. This is how a child disappears. Not physically, but psychologically. If I don't hold everything together, no one will.
Damn, bro. He's like he's like talking to me a little bit, to be honest. Um, because well, it, it wasn't when I was 7, but it was when I was like 11 or 12 when my parents got divorced, and I feel like it doesn't feel like I don't know. It didn't feel like I had to hold and everything together, but for me, it felt like I will do it better than my parents. And but yeah, also it felt like I had to grow up a little bit faster, which I didn't want to. I try I like most of the times I escaped reality through gaming, masturbation, um yeah, most of the time these two only.
This is how a child disappears. Not physically, but psychologically. They smile more, they cry less. They learn to read the room before they speak. They become the emotional thermostat of the household. They become small adults long before their minds are ready, and the world praises them for it. You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong. But no one ever stops to ask.
Nobody told me that I was strong. Nobody. Not a single, not a single creature, bro. Not even like my inner demons, bro. Nobody said it. All right? Um Only until I got like, until I got older. But I feel like for me I didn't, you know, felt like I had to hold everything together when I was a child, bro. Like this is crazy. If you are that guy, this child, then damn, bro. Props to you, and also for what you went through. Probably it was crazy. Everybody went through something crazy, I would say. I did, probably you did also in some kind of way. Probably you had to, bro. Like life is not just all about positiveness, happiness. Like there are some dark moments, bro. Like there just are. Um, Wait a minute, it's getting way too dark, bro. Um, is that okay? I guess so. I guess. Um, yeah, I like people told me that I was strong only after recently, when like the spiritual stuff came in and I, well, not that I'm trying to hold everything together, but it's like my mission. I don't like to be honest, I would have never in my life thought that I would have even this mission, bro. Like before the all the spiritual things and awakening or however you want to call it, I didn't think about it like that, like at all. Like the mission that I need to basically it's like saving humanity at this point, bro. Like we are self-destroying each other, our own selves through overthinking and stuff like that, bro. And it needs to be stopped, and somebody has to stop it for everybody. There are a few really good, spiritual teachers, you could say, that already are doing the job, but we could do a better job, to be honest.
At what
Especially
cost?
for the children, bro.
This is the invisible grief of those who grew up too fast. And today we're going deep
Danke.
inside the psychology of that child. Because the effects don't vanish with age, they shape the
Wait,
invisible. So mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong. But no one ever stops to ask, at what cost? This is the invisible grief of those who grew up too fast. And today we're going deep inside the psychology of that child. Because the effects don't vanish with age. They shape you. They follow you into relationships, careers, your sense of worth. And if you don't understand what happened, you'll spend your adult life repeating the survival patterns that once saved you, but are now slowly killing you. Let's start with what's really happening developmentally. When children are forced to emotionally support adults instead of the other way around.
to be quite honest, I didn't emotionally support my parents when they divorced, to be honest. But one thing I did, because like some children would cry and stuff like this and want things like all the time. I was not one of them. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I wanted a few things, but it wasn't never like I would stress my parents out of that, because I knew they like divorced and stuff like that, had also a hard time. So I didn't like also like was never the kind of person to even stress out people like that. You know what I mean? Like stress out people, make them angry. But what people got annoyed by is like, for example, if I do my own thing, with gaming and stuff like that, and then somebody, it doesn't matter if it's my parents or not, and they say I need to do something else, like why can't you just leave me alone how I am? And because I went, of course, through things, like divorce, divorce, my parents' divorce and stuff like that, bro. It takes like it doesn't really take time, but it was a great escape, from everything. And I couldn't handle these things when I was still like a teenager, I didn't want to handle that. It felt like it was way too much to handle. Well, if you think so, well, I thought so, then it will build up. That's what I learned. It will build up, the trauma, the depression, the grief, and stuff like that, the anxiety. It will build up. It will slowly build up, and you keep on gaming. That is the dangerous part. But there will hopefully will be a turning point where you're like, I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. And then you will change. You know, you are so desperate that you need to change. And then something beautiful can happen.
Psychologists call this parentification. It's when a child becomes the caregiver, the peacekeeper, the therapist, the protector. This isn't just unhealthy, it rewires the brain. Because when a child is
Wait a
consistent,
minute. Why it's unhealthy?
child beginning developmentally. When children are forced to emotionally support adults instead of the other way around, psychologists call this parentification. It's when a child becomes the caregiver, the peacekeeper, the therapist, the protector. This isn't just unhealthy, it rewires the brain. Because when a child is consistently put in charge of emotional regulation, either their own or others, it creates something called hypervigilance. You're always scanning for danger. You walk on eggshells. You learn that love. You're always scanning for danger. You walk on eggshells. You learn that love is a transaction. You give peace, and maybe they'll give you safety. You learn that your needs are dangerous, and theirs are urgent.
You're so mature, silence, you're so strong. But what the child is holding is fear and grief. Damn, bro. Nobody told me, you're so strong or you're so mature. There was just grief and fear, anxiety, depression, and silence from my part. The best, most of the time, the best Asians can do is like, because they don't know better, of course. Like okay, not just some parents. A lot of parents don't know better. That is the sad part, bro. A lot of parents don't know better. They don't know what to do with you. Like you are the first children they had, bro. So it's like they have to figure it out also because they didn't figure it out yet. That is the problem, bro. Like if you want to have kids and you didn't figure out life yet, I don't mean financially, I mean internally. When the internal life is figured out, the outside life is way clearer. It's easier to navigate through life and stuff like that. But bro, if you didn't figure it out, and most parents didn't figure it out, I promise y'all they didn't figure it out. Because if they figured it out, why are you still like angry at your kids? Why didn't you educate your children how you should? You know what I mean? And so many why questions. Why? Because you didn't fix yourself in the first place. So the parents are at fault, The parents are the parents are at fault. Why? Because they wanted to have kids. They had to know what comes with a kid, bro. And all this stuff, the education system and stuff like that. What if the education system is not that good, you know? Maybe I should educate myself, but then I have to work. I have to go to work and stuff like that. That also you should have figured it out before you have children. Everything you should have figured it out and know all of these, but you don't. Like most of the parents don't. So I really blame the parents, to be honest. But after a certain age, if the children didn't kill themselves first, and yes, I like I'm saying it like it is, bro. Like how I felt, bro. Like I felt like I could have easily, ended my life a few times when I was a teenager, a young adult. Because, bro, nobody told me all of this, I didn't had anything like any support and stuff like that. So That's also why now I don't want to be a parent, because how can I be a parent if didn't figure it out all of it yet? You know, like I figured it out, like I figured out a lot. Like I could probably grow, you know what I mean? Like grow, not grow, but um, help a child to grow up really good. But I still know that I didn't figure it out all. And also, like in this kind of world, I don't want to even have children. You know, like there are so many children who needs help. So why am I, here on the internet? Because that's what I'm trying to do. I want to help as many kids as possible, so they don't have to go through all this stuff that I went through, because that's already pretty bad, what I went through. But these kids nowadays, most of them go through the same stuff that I go through, like most of them, because most parents gets divorced now more than ever. Then all these children are gaming, being on TikTok and stuff like that, escaping reality, just like me. Well, I think other people, in my age also do the same thing, but who really is here, to like try to help children, bro? Like who?
So you disappear, not physically, but emotionally, and in your place grows a version of you that performs well. You become the good child, the quiet achiever, the therapist friend, the one who never asks for anything. Place grows a version of you that performs well. You become the good child, the quiet achiever.
I was never a good child, really, but I also didn't like do like crazy bad things only after like I turned 18. 18. Also, I didn't achieve a lot of things because of depression and stuff like that. Like I didn't care at all. Therapist friend, I was never a therapist friend, because I'm being honest. I wasn't really grown until I turned like 20, 22, bro. So I don't know what he's talking about right now. For another child, maybe,
The therapist friend, the
but not
one
for
who
me.
never asks for anything, and you wear that identity so convincingly that even you forget it's a mask. But deep down, something hurts,
Hmm.
something aches,
Okay.
because the inner child you buried didn't die. They're still in there screaming silently, "Why didn't anyone protect me?" As you grow older, the symptoms become more complex. You might become hyper independent. You refuse help, push people away, or never feel truly safe in love.
Damn, bro. Why do you have to expose me like that?
As
Wait.
you grow older, the symptoms become more complex. You might become hyper independent.
Okay.
You refuse help, push people away.
I refuse help, yeah. I can push people away, okay. Or never truly safe in love. Well, but that's another kind of topic, love. Love, the way we see love, it's not real love, bro. Um, like I feel safe in love now, but only because of spiritualism. Like when I just walk alone into nature, I feel love, bro. I feel the love from like the trees, the air that I breathe, like everything, bro. But that is the funny part, I feel more love from trees and stuff than I feel love from human beings, family members or friends, where I'm like, bro, how is that possible? Did we really forget how to love, bro? I could love, but I'm like, if I do love, and I did it a few times, it feels like they want to hang around with me a little bit too often. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have, I have that time, but also not really. Like, I'd rather, to be honest, yeah, I'd rather record videos and stuff like that, and slowly like show what we can change about ourselves and stuff like that, and slowly, hopefully, help children. I do that rather than help like people individually. I mean, of course, like they don't even really want my help. They just want to feed off my energy. Like that's how it feels, and that's why I'm like, why should I, you know, do that when they don't even really need help, bro? Like they think when they think they figured out life already, then you go, you do your own thing, then you are already independent. Because for me, if you figure that out, all of it, then you are an independent person. No, then you are an independent individual. Then you are truly an individual. You know what I mean? But if you didn't figure it out, the life, if you didn't figure out life yet, but you act like you do, and you think, you say, I basically am independent. I am an individual. If you really think so, then you are so independent that you don't need me. You know what I mean? Like, this is truly how I feel because I don't need anybody around me for like emotional support or whatever it is. If it's internal, I don't need anybody's help, to be honest. Like, internally, I don't really need like help at all because the only one I can help is myself. That's why like I can't possibly get help because this is something I have to do on my own. That's something everybody needs to do on their own. And with helping, I mean like showing the way, the way that is possible to enter through. For example, there is the digital way, swiping on the phone all the time, watching videos like that. Well, at least I'm productive, and trying to help. Um, and I mean, we can watch it together and hopefully we learn something together. Um, and yeah, that's how basically I show some kind of love, but of course you can't really feel it. Well, I hope you can feel it. I hope you can. Well, no, not really, because the way I worry about humanity and the world, it is. I don't think a lot of people like can handle it. I can't even really handle it. If I think I am an ego and stuff like that, you could break down from it. So I have to really not identify myself with, being an ego and have to do all these kind of things because that's a big goal, I guess, to help as many or show the path to people that they could enter and have a better life. Um, you know, you you wanna change your life or you don't. And if you don't change your life and you say, you are independent, you are an individual, you are strong enough to walk on this earth alone, then it is what it is, bro. But then you don't need any contact with me at all. You know what I mean? Because for what reason, bro? Like, really, for what reason?
or never feel truly safe in love. You might feel numb during happy moments because joy feels unfamiliar.
Damn, bro, he got me again. Bro really got me again, bro.
You might feel numb during
You might feel numb during happy moments. It's not, I mean, it's like I'm exposing myself a little bit, you know? Um, it's like I'm smiling and stuff like that also when there are like happy moments. Well, it depends, you know, because in the past I really were quite numb, but I mean I had also happy moments, but I'm not happy when other people are happy. You know what I mean? Like sometimes other people's around me are happy while I wasn't happy. But also there were like happy moments I had, but other people were not happy. So it's really depends on the moment, I guess. Nowadays I can really be happy because of the smallest things. And this is really like something that I like really more, you know. For example, if I record these videos and I watch them again for editing or whatever, it's I f- I think it's funny to see myself talking, and it makes me kind of happy, you know, that I was like a really little Asian kid or shy Asian child who don't want to talk with anybody and so on, and don't never want to, make videos. Now I'm here doing this and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, you really came a long way, but also, of course, it's like a new life, bro.
happy moments because joy feels unfamiliar, unearned, even dangerous. You might struggle to rest because productivity is the only way you've ever felt worthy. And worst of all, you might not even realize you're still stuck in survival mode. Because when dysfunction is normalized early, your nervous system accepts chaos as baseline. Stillness feels wrong, peace feels suspicious, love feels like a debt you'll have to repay. This is
That's
the
crazy.
psychology of a child forced to grow up too fast. It's not just sadness, it's a complex trauma that reshapes how you view the world, and more importantly, yourself. Now, you may ask, why would any child willingly take on that role? Because children will do anything for attachment, even abandon themselves. The choice is never conscious, it's biological. In the absence of safety, the child sacrifices authenticity for belonging. That's not weakness, that's intelligence, that's instinct. But the tragedy is this: what saved you then imprisons you now. So many of us are walking around as high functioning adults, with deeply neglected inner children pulling the strings.
Yeah.
We overachieve to earn love. We stay silent to avoid abandonment. We take care of everyone, but secretly wish someone would just ask if we're okay.
It doesn't matter for me anymore, you know. Like, and that's the funny part, bro. It really is always like that. Like, when you needed it the most, you will not get it. You know, when I was a child, I wished somebody asked me if I was okay and stuff like that, but there was nobody, right? Like, of course, you had like fans, not fans, friends and stuff like that, where they are like, how are you? But it's like, hey, how are you? Like, this is like small talk, and you just say, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine, how are you? But you really are not fine. You know what I mean? um but nobody really truly asked me if I was really fine and okay, you know?
And that fantasy that someone will notice you're not as strong as you pretend to be, that maybe, just maybe, you'll finally get to fall apart and be held. That is the unmet need, not of your adult self, but of the child who never got to be a child. The first step to healing isn't fixing.
Wait, I don't think this video is really for me because my childhood was pretty good, to be honest, until, of course, the divorce. But then I was already like 11 or 12, so I didn't got it like fully. But after the, divorce, it was quite a mess, to be honest. I was
It's
quite a mess.
witnessing, because until you validate what happened, you'll keep gaslighting yourself with thoughts like, it wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse.
Yeah, I don't think so. I was the one who said, "Why me, bro? Why me? Why does this happen to me?" And shout out to Eckhart Tolle. He is an author, like a spiritual teacher. The Power of Now. I read his book, The Power of Now, where he also said, when I was a child, and he asked himself, why does this happen to me? It always happened to me, and then it will always happen to you. And it happened also to me. Um, but the thing is then, yeah, wait, about what was it again?
I
About what?
turned out fine. Till you validate what happened, you'll keep gaslighting yourself with thoughts like, it wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse. I turned out
Well, I know people had it worse. But there were still moments that were pretty bad, for me at least.
fine. But fine is a mask too. And deep down, you know it. So, what happens to that child? When they grow up, they become adults who never feel safe, even in calm rooms. They become lovers who can't trust softness.
Damn, bro. Well, that's really not for me because I feel safe, and this is a little bit naive of me probably, but I feel safe like a lot of times, even if it's not that safe. You know, like some people don't feel safe in a forest, where I'm like, bro, are you kidding me right now? Like I am pretty happy when I am in a forest, where other people are like, I don't feel safe, where I'm like, how? And it is because of insects and stuff like that, thinking,
Feel safe, even in calm rooms. They become lovers who can't trust softness. They become givers who can't receive. They become the kind of people who apologize for crying, flinch at compliments.
okay, I can't receive, like, I can't, but I don't want to give you anything, to be honest. It doesn't matter for what it is, like birthdays and stuff like that. People say, oh, this is like a kind gesture if you do it and stuff like that. But then they are getting comfortable. They are getting used to it. And then, for example, you never forget her or his birthday, right? It doesn't matter who it is, right? A family member or whatever. For 5 years, you give him or her a birthday present, and then you stop doing it, and then see how things will change just because you don't give a gift, bro. That's crazy to me. Like you feel a certain type of way because I don't give you a gift, but then anything else is still like the same. Okay, I'm not like communicating that much anymore because, to be honest, bro, Like I can't really talk with another person the way I want to talk. You know what I mean? Like I want, like would love to talk with Eckhart Tolle, like a spiritual teacher or whatever, or spiritual people. And when I talk then with like not spiritual people, or then it's like, bro, why do we even talk, bro? Like you are talking or you are gossiping about things, bro, where I'm like, for what reason? I mean, I know the reason. It's like anything. At least I can tell you about it. I have some news for you, Like I have new gossip for you. No, I don't want to hear it, bro. Like I don't want to get involved in this drama and this unnecessary gossiping and stuff like that. Take me out of this. Take me out of this, bro. Like don't talk to me about these kind of stuff. I don't want to hear it, bro.
Even in
Or
calm
sis.
rooms, they become lovers who can't trust softness. They become givers who can't receive. They become the kind of people who apologize for crying, flinch at compliments, and confuse exhaustion with success. This is the cost of growing up too fast. Because if your childhood trained you to be strong at the expense of being soft, to be quiet instead of honest, to fix others while ignoring your own fractures, then what kind of adulthood do you inherit? You inherit a life where you're always holding your breath, waiting for someone to give you permission to finally fall apart. But here's the truth: no one's coming to rescue the child you buried. You are
Go ahead. Wait, what's his name? Go ahead, Key. Go ahead, Key. You are going into the right direction.
the one who must go back and hold their hand. You are the one who must say what no one else ever said. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You get to rest now. This is the beginning of shadow work. Not fixing, not performing, not bypassing the pain with fake positivity, but turning toward the work. Not fixing. This is the beginning of
Wait,
that. You were just a child.
you didn't deserve that. You were just a child, okay? Now you can rest easy. The real adult me will handle the rest, okay? Take some rest. You can vanish now. All right?
You get to rest now. This is the beginning of shadow work. Not fixing, not performing, not bypassing the pain with fake positivity, but turning toward
Confront. Always confront anything that happens inside of you, okay? Never let it slide. Like you feel grief, you feel sadness, you feel angry, don't let it slide. Don't let it slide. It will come back and it might even shoot at you. So confront the feeling. Confront what is there right there. Well, with confronting, I mean observing, and observe it and see what happens.
the abandoned parts of yourself and saying, I see you now, I hear you now, and I'm not leaving. That is the reparenting process. And it's brutal because it asks you to feel the grief you never had time to feel.
I felt a lot of grief already. You know what I mean? Like the amount of grief I already suffered from, bro. I don't even wish to my deadliest enemies. I don't even have enemies, to be honest. But I don't wish that upon anybody, to be honest. And that's why I'm here. That's why I am here, that you don't have to feel the thing that I felt, grief and stuff like that in such an enormous amount where it could easily break you. It's okay if you break, but it's not ever okay to KMS. You know what I mean?
It asks you to sit with the rage, the sorrow, the unmet needs, to weep for the birthdays where no one showed up, to mourn the innocence you lost while protecting people who should have protected you. But that grief, it's not weakness, it's proof that you're healing, because what was once frozen is finally thawing. Now let's talk about how this survival pattern shows up in adult.
Okay. That I like that. I like that. Because that was once frozen, because what was once frozen is finally falling. The frozen tear is finally falling. Let's go.
Is finally thawing. Now let's talk about how this survival pattern shows up in adulthood, subtly, tragically, and often invisibly. You might become a therapist in all your friendships, but never let anyone truly see you. You might be
Wait a minute. Wait a second. I know somebody who is like that, but I feel like he had a great childhood, to be honest. Doesn't matter. Okay.
a therapist in all your friendships, but never let
Because I am not the therapist in all my friendships. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like it was intentional. It was intentional, like 100% intentional. First of all, I tried. I tried to give them like therapy sessions where they can talk about anything with me. You know, I talked about anything, they talked about anything, but they want that did like most people don't open up that easily. Even friends, where you think that they are your friends, but it it takes quite some energy to open up. I would say, you know, it really takes quite some energy to open up. And if you are not ready, then you are not ready, bro. And most of the people were not ready, to be honest. Like most of, like all of them, everybody who I was talking with or talking to, they were not ready. And it's completely okay to not be ready because not many people can be so open, which is also okay. But you know, that's where my struggle is coming from, where it's like really difficult for me to talk to people. I can talk to people. That's not the problem. But then I am like, what are we talking about? Like, it's not that deep, you know? And I don't want to basically don't make it that it's not deep. I don't want to talk about like I don't want to do small talk and stuff like that. Like for me, it doesn't make any difference.
anyone truly see you. You might be praised for your independence, when deep down you're terrified of being a burden. You might be in relationships where you overfunction, always fixing, managing, over explaining, and wondering why you feel resentful. You might struggle with boundaries because saying no still feels like betrayal. These are not
I can say no. Wait. Okay. I can I can say no like, wait. What is that weak? That is a weak snap, bro. But I can say no like that, like with a snap of a finger, bro.
personality traits. They are coping strategies, learned, conditioned, and the good news, unlearnable. But only when you stop idolizing your strength and start honoring your wounds. One of the most powerful things you can do is ask your inner child, what did I need back then that I never got? You may hear answers like, I needed someone to tell me it wasn't my fault. I needed someone to ask how I was doing.
I don't ask that, you know, like the past, like things that are in the past, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything. Leave that in the past. Don't dig it up again, you know? Like leave that in the past for real. Of course you really need to know what it is. Like why does that have why does that particular moment had so much impact in my life, you know? Then you can see like what was really important to you and stuff like that. And, you know, but it doesn't matter. Like, it can be like, for example, when my dog died, when my parents got divorced, when my grandpa died, grandma died. It was all in the past. And how did the wound open itself again? By thinking about it, by visualizing the moment when, for example, my parents got divorced, my my dog, put to sleep, got put into sleep, and then died. Like these kind of stuff, if you think about it, if you look at your phone, if you see the old pictures, you are missing, this particular entity. And that's on you. Like that's on you if you do that. So that's why I'm saying don't think about the past. If you let the past be in the past, it will never come back up, you know? But you have to confront it at least once in your life. If you confront it, it it never it will never come back, bro. Like when I lost my dog, for example, and saw pictures of my dog after that and stuff like that, or I was just thinking about my dog, like create a good time, the good times, and stuff like that. Then you are missing the dog. But if you never think, wait, if you then just confront, this feeling or thought is coming back, you are looking at it, and then it vanishes. I'm telling you right now, it will never come back. Only after you really, really specifically want to think about it. You know, only then it will come back. That's what happened to me, and this goes for everything. Also with the divorce of the parents and stuff like that. Everything else, if you don't think about it, it will never come back up. It will never come back up. It doesn't even come back up randomly, bro. And if something is coming up randomly multiple times, then the unconsciousness basically is telling you, you need to fix that first. Fix that first. Observe it in yourself, then it will probably get fixed already.
I needed to play, rest, laugh without fear. And slowly, very slowly, you begin.
What did
I
he say?
needed someone to ask how I was doing. I needed to play, rest, laugh without fear. And slowly, very slowly, you begin to give those things to yourself. Not to fix your past, but to stop reliving it. This is how you stop seeking parents in your partners.
Stop reliving it. Good stuff, Key, bro. I like it.
But to stop reliving it. This is how you stop seeking parents in your partners. This is how you stop mistaking anxiety for intuition. This is how you stop running from the child you were and the self you're becoming. Carl Jung once said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. But shadow work demands that we face it, all of it, the neglected, the ashamed, the scared, the angry, because healing isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. So if you're someone who grew up too fast, know this: your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice, but now you do. You can choose softness. You can choose to rest. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions and start honoring your own. And no, it won't happen overnight. There will be days you feel like a child again. Good. That's the point. Let that child come home. Let them cry. Let them play. Let them
Damn,
finally be
bro.
seen. Because you're not broken. You're becoming whole. And maybe for the first time, you're finally growing up the right way. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through truth. You never had a childhood, but you still have a future. And this time, you get to write it.
Damn, Key. Good stuff, bro. Like, I really like that. I Yeah, I did it again, bro. Like I talked a little bit too much again. Like this was 9 minutes and I somehow did one. But this is what I like, actually. This is what I would rather watch, like some spiritual, educational content, where I can give you my 2 cents, well, or 40 minutes plus talks, and I can basically just talk what is going on, like in myself a little bit, in my past, how I handled it, you know what I mean? Uh, but this was, I feel like, a little bit too specific because tried to generalize it a little bit. Some things were true for me, at least, but not all of them were true. Like it really depends on the person. But I would say, of course, everybody experienced grief or experienced fear and stuff like that. And all I would say everybody has like an inner child still in them. Even if they are adults, they still have an inner child, and this inner child, you know, is still there. So we need to take care also of the inner child, but also like ask yourself, why is there an inner child? Um, this is a little bit tricky, because the inner child, like I don't identify myself with my past that much. Not all of it, but a lot of the things I don't identify myself with anymore. And so it's quite different, I would say, to say that I have like I mean, I understand what an inner child is, but it is not like my past inner childhood. My past childhood or my past inner child looks quite different than my inner child now, if that makes sense. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Again, I will do it for 20 plus years. I will go nowhere. I will make it to 1 million in these 20 plus years. So, you want to be in there or no? That's the question. All right. Thanks. But thanks anyways.